Today, I wanted to do kind of like a solo live where I'm not working out and I'm not with somebody else, but just here with you and me, and we're having a conversation about overeating. All right, so as you guys know, I am a trainer and a yoga teacher, and I have an online business helping mostly women get some kind of movement going and help them focus on nutrition or intuitive eating or a fat loss strategy that's sustainable and healthy and is going to promote a long-term lifestyle that they can adhere to, that they feel good in, okay? So that's what I do. But one of the biggest things that I'm the most passionate about, I don't talk about as much as I'd like to on my newsfeed or in my stories, because it's such a dense topic that it's something that I could go so deep on for so long that it's almost a little overwhelming. So I want to do a couple more Instagram lives to kind of give you guys some of this information, some of this knowledge and experience that I have, and be able to really give back to you and help you in any way possible. So as a lot of you guys know, I practice intuitive eating. It was something that came to me a couple years ago after struggling with a weight gain that happened in about 6 months. I gained about 15 pounds. Prior to that, I was exercising 2 times a day, taking fat burners, like not like normal, like okay fat burners. We're talking like the illegal stuff on the market, on like the black market that you're not supposed to be taking. I was taking those kind of fat burners, the kind that make you all cracked out and crazy. And I was on a lot of caffeine, coffee, pre-workout, and I was walking like all day long. I was just obsessed with being as small as I possibly could until my body could literally take no more. And I gained 15 pounds in 6 months. It was a shock. It was like emotional whiplash. My body image completely changed. And I went through a lot of difficult, dark times for about a year and a half. And it really took a solid few years to like start my journey on healing my relationship with food and learning about intuitive eating. And I want to bring to you guys today a little like peek inside of what intuitive eating is and how you can start to practice it when it comes to overeating. So one of the things that I teach my clients and that I teach inside the intuitive eating paradigm, which is my online digital course that's getting a complete overhaul and completely getting updated, which will be released in May. This is one of the biggest topics that I talk about is overeating. Now, overeating has a lot of facets to it. It's not a one size fits all. It's not black and white. It is a lot of different shades of gray. One of the biggest reasons that I see people engage in overeating is simply this, and you might identify with this immediately and you might not, but I'm gonna guess about 99% of you guys watching this will identify with this. I wanna ask you something. How often do you watch or do something else while you're eating? Like, how often are you eating dinner and watching TV? How often are you eating breakfast and watching something on YouTube? How often are you eating lunch and also getting back to emails or taking care of something else, whether it's the kids or work or whatever it may be, okay? So most of the time when we're eating, we're multitasking. We're doing eating and something else. A lot of the times, eating and entertainment go hand in hand. And a big reason why is because our culture and the way our brain is programmed is we thrive off of pleasure, and we want to take in as much pleasure as possible. And it's like it's our natural state to want to indulge in pleasure, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when we take in so much pleasure at once, we're watching TV, we're eating, we're on the phone, we're doing all these things. When we're constantly distracting ourselves and doing so many things, we end up creating these energy leaks, meaning that we become so much of this, like we're constantly taking, consuming, that we forget to actually be present. Like we forget what it's like to just sit down and eat food one bite at a time and actually experience what we're eating. And we don't recognize, our brain does not even recognize when we've stopped eating, and then we end up taking more. So if you've ever sat down at a meal and you were talking with friends or watching TV or on the phone or answering emails and you ate all your food, and by the end of it you look at your plate and you go, what the hell, like where did my food go? And then you end up eating more because you're like, I'm still hungry. When you're not actually present with your food, one, you're not giving your brain enough time to actually realize that you're eating and that you've become to the point of satiation. And that in itself is where a lot of people end up overeating. They end up getting more food, putting it on their plate. Not only that, but for your body to actually absorb the nutrients it needs in your food, you actually need to recognize that you're eating. There are some studies done, and if you are like one of those people like likes to research and do all these studies and things, I can get it for you. But when I read that, I was like, what? Like, so your body, if you're eating food and your body doesn't even recognize that you're eating because you're so distracted doing so many other things, your body isn't like giving that signal saying, hey, I'm satiating. You start to basically desensitize these hormones in your body, specifically leptin, that says, hey, I'm full. And you desensitize this hormone, and then you go out and you go eat more. So when we're distracted, when you're watching TV, when you're, on the phone, answering emails, doing all the things, cleaning your house, eating dinner at the same time, whatever it may be doing, and you're not fully present with your meal, you tend to overeat. And so what I teach a lot of my clients and any students that go through the intuitive eating paradigm is pick one meal a day where you don't do anything. Like, you do nothing. You basically just sit and eat your meal one bite at a time, not 3 bites at a time, but one bite at a time, and you actually experience what you're tasting, what you're feeling. And as you sit and eat that meal, you stop when you get to a point where you're satiated, not when you're full, but when you're actually satiated. Most of the food you eat takes roughly 15 to 20 minutes for you to actually recognize you're full. This happens to me every single day. Every day when I eat certain foods, if I don't give it 10, 15, 20 minutes after my meal, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm still hungry. And I'm like, whoa, like, let's slow down, eat, drink some water, wait 15 to 20 minutes, see if my brain is telling my body it's full, and vice versa. My body is telling my brain, hey, we're good. Wait for that communication. And if that communication doesn't come and I'm still hungry, continue to eat. Okay? So it's something we don't practice very often. We're not very mindful when it comes to eating. We don't allow the 15 to 20 minute window after we're done eating a certain meal to be like, okay, I'm actually good, or okay, no, I actually need to eat more. All right? Food has become, instead of this like harmonious, like beautiful experience of getting to fuel your body and enjoy the pleasure of eating at the same time, it's become this thing that we're just like, oh, it's not that important. I'll just multitask. I'm gonna watch something on TV because I've had a long day, or the kids are driving me insane, so I'm gonna get on the phone and I'm gonna eat at the same time, instead of being like, you know what, let me just be really present with this meal and really enjoy it, and then I can go about the next task and the next thing. Now, if you're a parent and you're watching this and you're like, yeah, right, like I can sit down and eat dinner without my kids driving me insane, my tip for you, those of you guys who are parents that are watching this, is find a way where you can structure, whether it's a meal or a snack, but when you are at that point where you're like, okay, I'm hungry, but you're not like starving, that you can actually sit down, whether you're hiding in the pantry, because I've heard this before, or it's their nap time, or they're out playing, or whatever they're doing, they're hanging out with each other if you've got multiple kids, where you can sit down and have a moment where you actually get to eat and enjoy the experience, whether it's during the nap time or whatever it may be. If you have a baby, trying to structure and find a way for you to eat during a quiet time. There is, I guarantee you, at least one moment, like 5 minutes of peace in your day where you can actually sit down and enjoy a meal. All right. So this is one of the biggest causes of overeating, as we're so distracted and we are so trying to do one too many things at the same time that we end up overeating because we're not even present with our food. So I encourage you to pick one meal out of the day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, second lunch, second dinner, whatever it is, and just sit down and really enjoy your food. Sit down, take one bite at a time. Don't do anything. Don't have a conversation about finances. Don't watch TV. Don't watch YouTube. Just chill. Like, leave the phone to the side. Sit down and eat your food, eating one bite at a time. What do you taste? What do you feel? What are you experiencing? Like, show appreciation for the meal in front of you, whether you bought it from a restaurant that's trying to stay afloat, whether you prepared the meal yourself, and just be with it. Like, do less. When it comes to having a healthy relationship with food, with your body, it's not about doing more. Oftentimes it's really just about doing less and letting go of trying to do everything. I encourage you to try it on, have one meal at a time where you just enjoy it and have zero distractions. Wait that 15 to 20 minutes after you've had food, and if you're still hungry, go ahead and eat more, but you might find that you're totally okay. All right. As usual, drink plenty of water, get plenty of good rest, whether you're getting rest through meditation or maybe a hypnosis track or a really good quality sleep, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself, especially during this time. All right, you guys, that is all I've got for you today on this live. Thank you guys so much for joining, whether you are watching right now or you are catching this later. Tag somebody who needs this message today. All right, you guys, have a fantastic day. I will catch you guys on the next live.